My name is Ernest Lamoth, and I'm a reporter for the Southland Journal.
Hi, my name is Kierra Williams. I'm a Democratic candidate for Cook County Board Commissioner of the 5th District.
Kierra, thank you very much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Can you talk a little bit about your overall background?
So I was born in Chicago, raised in the South suburbs primarily. I attended District 151 for elementary and 205 for high school. I went to Thornton Township High School, go Wildcats. I ranked number one first in all 4 years while I was in high school, graduating as a valedictorian in 2014. And then I went on to pursue higher education at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. I was there for 4 years, graduated in 2018, and I got a Bachelor of Science in Community Health, a minor in Sociology, and a leadership certification. I graduated with honors. While I was there, I participated in multiple extracurriculars. I joined Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Gamma chapter. I was the co-president of a Black Student Union. I was also involved in the Black Green Council. I served as president for my chapter of my sorority. And I was a resident advisor. And during my freshman year, I ran and was elected to a 2-year vacancy on Thornton Township School Board of Education. So I was the youngest member elected to that position. It was something that I kind of followed up with from high school because I was also on the student board, which at the time was the only student board of education in Illinois. And we worked directly with the school board of education. So I guess that's a little bit about me. Now I'm in law school. I'm a 2L, so it's my second year. I have 1 year to go. Pray for me. I'm almost there.
And can you talk a little about what made you decide that you wanted to run for the 5th District?
Absolutely. So I reside in the 5th District, and I grew up in a household that was very community oriented, like involved in many ways through business, through Little League sports, so much just always being involved in what was going on where we live and in the neighboring, our surroundings. So I've been waiting to try my hand again as a public servant. And when Commissioner Deborah Sams announced that she was going to be stepping down and she wanted another Black woman to run in her place, I felt like that was the perfect opportunity. That way, it would be no friction running against another Black woman or an incumbent, but also just keeping that legacy going. So women in politics is the new wave right now, and I would love to be a part of history and making change.
And can you talk about what are some of the important platforms that you are very passionate about?
So I have a lot of platforms that are very important to me. However, what I want people to know is that my priority is healthcare equity. That is something that has personally impacted and affected my family and friends, and I know it's affected many other people in our community, even within the 5th District as well as outside of it. We don't have a trauma center in the Southland area at all. We've had hospital closures over the past few years that have been detrimental to our communities. And last year, my aunt passed away on Mother's Day, leaving the church in Poston. She was killed in a hit and run car accident. And for her, she had to be transported to Christ on 95th. And that was the second time that happened to my family just within the last, I would say, 7 years. My grandmother passed away, and every time we took her to the hospital, it wasn't the same incident, like a hit and run, but she always had to go to Christ to get healthcare services. We have Ingalls down the street, but they're not adequately prepared to treat the situations that my family was dealing with. So who knows, when those situations happen, if somebody's life could have been saved by being able to get to a trauma center a lot faster. And it's more than just trauma centers, just having adequate access in general. With the hospital closing in Blue Island, that made it a further distance for people to have to travel in ambulances to get to the next local hospital or emergency room. So yes, that's my priority.
Wonderful. And you talked about your being a second-year law student. Can you talk a little bit about your passion for law and what are some of the reasons why you decided that was your career?
So I've wanted to be a lawyer for as long as I can remember. Um, and I don't know why. I don't know where that came from, but I love it. I love the information that I'm learning. I love the field of being a lawyer because it's so diverse and it's so broad. Like you can do anything with law. Like you can go into any field with law. And I personally want to help others understand the laws of our country because a lot of times we think we know things. Even me, being interested in this field, I was always, a little more knowledgeable and a little more interested than others around me. But it's still things that I'm learning every day. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? So I want to be able to help other people, um, provide them access to that same information and knowledge. I want to, when I get to the right place, because pro bono work is a hard commitment, especially because you still have to be able to live financially. But I do want to be able to provide pro bono work, primarily in the criminal field. Um, it just doesn't sit right in my heart to work in it solely as a career because it's a tearjerker. But I do feel like people deserve to have adequate, legal representation, and our communities, and especially minorities, lack the funding. Well, I don't want to say funding, but the financial resources, um, lack the educational resources and knowledge that's necessary to defend themselves in so many day-to-day transactions, whether it's an encounter with the police and knowing your rights, whether it is um, dealing with family law, or whether it's even just dealing with business negotiations. Um, Everything is a contract nowadays. And I think it's important to be able to provide those kind of resources for my community and my people.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about yourself or in general about your platform that maybe I didn't ask?